let's talk about the month of June. So the first half of June is a hot mess, and the second half is a test of integrity. So starting off today is June 1st, the 1st through the 3rd, we have Jupiter trining Pluto retrograde. Pluto retrograde is in Aquarius, digging up all the dark secrets and destroying things. It's in its destructive mode when it comes to communities, friendships, your co-workers, any group that you're involved in. You might see a lot of things coming up that maybe are a little taboo, you know. And then Jupiter in Gemini is chatty Cathy, right? And there is just a wide open door between those two. So kind of envisioning a whole lot of, hey, did you hear that this person did that, and whatever. And then on, I believe it's the 3rd, Mercury joins the party. It enters Gemini, which it's in its rulership in Gemini, so it's normally not too awful bad, but these first couple days are going to be a bit rough because the first thing it's going to do is trine Pluto and conjunct Jupiter. So it's just adding fuel to the fire here. We also have Sun conjunct Venus. That conjunction is going to be exact. I think it goes exact like overnight on the 3rd, and then carries into like the first half of the day on the 4th. That's when things become very clear when it comes to relationships, friendships, partnerships, values, money, things of that nature. And that conjunction is actually in a trine to the South Node, which is opening the door to be able to let go of people pleasing at the expense of yourself, let go of people that are holding you back, and an opportunity to move forward on your own path. Then on the 5th, we have the moon joining the party as well. So from the 5th and the 6th and a little bit of the 7th, we're going to have 5 out of 10 planets all in Gemini. If people running their mouths was an astrological chart, this is it, okay? Your emotions, your conscious mind, your conscious self, the way you love, the way that you show love and receive love, your expansion, all of that is in Gemini. The sign that loves to talk, it loves to chit chat, it loves to have kind of like surface level conversations, right? Loves to joke around. It's also the sign of like the trickster, right? So just kind of keep an eye out for that. On the 6th is the Gemini new moon, and this is actually a pretty nice one because it is in conjunction with Venus. So this is a really good time to really think about like how you're speaking to other people, how you're speaking to yourself, and set intentions on trying to be more conscious in your empathy and your love when you're speaking not only to other people but to yourself as well. Now the 7th and the 8th, Mars will be at 29 degrees of Aries. Anytime that anything is at 29 Aries, it gets incredibly feisty. In this particular case, it's Mars, which is already feisty all on its own. So really watch out for angry outbursts, violent interactions, and things of that nature, because people are likely to fly off the handle very easily with this. On the 8th, we also have Venus squaring Saturn. So this is roadblocks when it comes to relationships and partnerships and money and things of that nature as well. So that could exasperate that energy of the 29 Aries Mars. But on the 8th, Mars will finally move into Taurus. Now this is going to feel like hitting a block wall. Mars is in its home in Aries. It likes to be there. It works well there. It can get a lot done there. But it's in its detriment in Taurus. It's very bogged down. It has a hard time getting anything going because Mars wants to take action and do, whereas Taurus is like waiting things out. It wants to stay the same, be calm and stable and slow moving. So you really might feel that like just sudden stop in energy when that happens. On the 9th through the 11th, this is where we have the big bada boom energy. So we have a T-square happening between the moon, Pluto, and Mars. This is exact on the 9th. The square between Pluto and Mars is exact on the 11th. But this T-square energy, this is very feisty, very volatile energy. The last time that Mars was square Pluto was on October 7th. We all know what happened that day. That's when we started. That's when the whole Israel-Palestine stuff started out. So this is a very volatile energy. On top of that, we also have the Sun squaring Saturn. Now, I don't do mundane astrology predictions. However, this is rough globally, very rough globally. In mundane astrology, the sun is a president, a prime minister, a dictator, whoever it is that sits at the head of the table. That is the sun, and Saturn stops things in its tracks. So this could really be a big ordeal on the 9th through the 11th when it comes to global events. Then on June 12th, we have Mercury squaring Saturn. Now this is communication issues, this is travel issues. So really make sure you're not getting caught up in the arguments that come along with that, because there most definitely will be arguments. There's going to be roadblocks to trying to have a conversation with somebody and so forth. And then on the 14th, we have Mercury conjunct the Sun. Now, if you've had like some thoughts that are kind of muddled in your mind, or maybe some communication that's not very clear, this is where a spotlight gets put on that, and you start to get that clarity during that time. Now, from this point forward, from the 15th on, this is where I say this is a test of integrity, because there's some moments of temptation in here. After having gone through all of the roughness that was going on, now things get a little warm and cozy. However, there is this temptation of Venus squaring Neptune. This is the potential for gaslighting, manipulation, especially when it comes to money and relationships, right? Anytime that Neptune is in a square or a harsh aspect to something, it can very much show up as delusional. Things are not clear. Things are very clouded in a fog, right? And a lot of people, the bad people out there, are going to use that as a way to manipulate their way back into situations that have maybe fallen apart through all of the rough time that we just had. Now, on the 17th, we have Venus moves into Cancer, Mercury moves into Cancer, and then there is a Venus-Mercury conjunction at 0 degrees of Cancer. This is the warm and fuzzies that I was just talking about. So when we have this I even left out Mercury squaring Neptune, because that happens right at the same time. So Venus squaring Neptune and Mercury squaring Neptune right about the same time. Gaslighting, manipulative conversations, and things of that nature. And then we move right into that warm and fuzzies. Venus and Mercury both being in Cancer, that conjunction right there at 0 degrees of Cancer is this new energy of nurturing and kindness and caring and empathetic type of energy. And that can very much be used as a way to manipulate, especially with Jupiter still being in Gemini. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot better feeling in the air, but that like chatty Cathy energy of Jupiter and Gemini it can still work against you here. And then on the 20th, we have the Sun squaring Neptune. Again, delusions, not seeing things clearly, living in a fog type of energy. And then the Sun will move into Cancer as well. So here we are in this nice, we'll have 3 planets in Cancer. It'll be nice and loving and caring and nurturing. Make sure you're listening to your intuition, because Cancer is a very intuitive sign as well. Then on the 21st, Mercury sextile Mars. Good time to take action on your thoughts. It's a good time for, it's an opportunity to do something with what you're thinking and what you're wanting to do. And it's the Capricorn full moon as well. So that's the energy of revealing authority, your authority, how you've been using your authority, how people around you have been using your authority. It's a good time to really pay attention to what's being revealed about your boundaries and your foundations in life as well. And then we've actually got pretty big of a break until about the 26th through the 29th. So Mercury trine Saturn, that's actually really good. That's a good time to put your foot down about things, right? Make sure that you're really standing up for your boundaries. You're speaking your boundaries clearly. But the biggest thing is when we get down to the 29th, Saturn stations retrograde. And this is why I'm saying that this is a test of integrity, having those squares while we have all the warm and fuzzies with those squares to Neptune. Because once Saturn stations retrograde, that's when we're going to start seeing karma get handed out for lying, manipulating, gaslighting, just using people in general. So make sure that you're really actually using all of the Cancer energy in the best ways possible and not falling into the trap of the squares to Neptune that can really get you a little diluted and possibly even tempt you into lying to somebody to get what you want.